Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports, and tonight we're going to be bridging the gap between sports and education, a series that we have, and we have a former athlete out of Wichita, Kansas. Who do we have here?
Carderro Nwoji. It's great to be
Hey,
here.
hey, Cordero, talk to our audience about your journey uh, from Biddy Sports through college, and we want to give our propers to the coaches that help you reach the goals that you were able to achieve in the realm of sports, getting scholarship and so forth, and talk about some of the mentors in your personal life.
Okay.
Let's run it down from the your bitty ball all the way up.
Yeah. So when I was probably about 10 or 11, I played biddy basketball for a team called the Boys. And it was basically a team that, I was able to play on because one of the kids' dad coach and one of the kids went to my middle school. So we were in sixth grade. Well, actually, it was 11. And I was in sixth grade, and the kid at recess saw me playing because I was more of a street ball guy. I didn't play organized ball or anything like that. And he was like, "Hey, man, my dad got a team, man. You should come play, man. We'll pick you up. We need." So he spoke to his dad, and they came to my house after school and talked to my mom, and my mom said, "Yeah, as long as you can pick him up, come get him."
Hmm.
And that's kind of where my basketball organized career started. You know.
Uh, what position was you playing?
Point guard.
Point
Yeah.
guard.
Yes, sir.
Uh, you say you was a street baller. I'm from New York, and
Yeah.
the park is where I used to live at when I was young. Uh,
Yeah.
from that point, where did you go from there? From once you joined that team, moving up towards your middle school and high school.
So, once Biddy was done and we, started getting a little bit older, I met Coach Moore, who, was came out of Kansas City, moved up to Wichita, Kansas. And at that time I was playing for, a well-known, coach in the city, Tyrone Berry. We were playing for Team Kansas.
All right.
And I guess Coach Moore was partnering with Tyrone. So one day, Coach Moore just kind of came in practice, and we had our little squad. I think we were building a seventh or eighth grade team, and I just felt Coach Moore's passion. I think he coached 1 year with Tyrone, and after that, he kind of just took over and started the diaper dance, Kansas diaper dance, and from there, man, I stuck with Coach Moore, and he took us all over the country, man, from eighth grade through senior year. So.
Uh, you played guard all that time?
Played point guard for Coach Moore. I started point guard as a sophomore at my high school, Wichita High School South. I played under Chris Davis, another well-respected coach in the city league. And,
All right, tell me this. What
yeah,
did you get? As I said, as mentors,
yeah,
what did you get from each one of them coaches? What influenced you?
it's a good question. Well, with let's go back to my biddy coaches. With Coach Besley and Coach Winston Moore. Coach Besley, someone I didn't mention, he was someone that pulled up to me at the park. He wasn't able to come to my house with my friend's dad, but he pulled up to
Right.
me at the park. These guys were more guys that kind of introduced me into the organized basketball. Like I had a clean transition. Like I wasn't, pressured or anything. They kind of showed me how to run organized plays. So I kind of learned organized basketball. When I got to Coach Moore, it was more like a father figure. It was more someone stepping into my life where I didn't have a father figure at the time and kind of like taking care of me. The moms, they kind of just give you to the coaches, as long as
Right.
they
Right.
trust them. They'll give them to, they'll give you to the coaches. So Moore was a guy that was kind of bigger than a basketball coach, more of a father figure. Kind of took me in, fed me, picked me up at 8 in the morning on a Friday, and brought me home on Monday. And I stayed at his house, or when we played locally, I'll stay at his house, or when we travel, I'll be with him. Everything taken care of. Mom didn't really have to, do anything financially. So And then when we wasn't playing ball, it's kind of just taking heat, soaking up game, kind of teaching us to stay on the right track. You know what I mean? Basically, make sure you graduate, make sure you're getting good grades, make sure you know what you're supposed to do, off the court.
Did you understand all of that when you were going through that process? Because a lot of times kids misconstrue different things. They think that they play better than they play, and people are doing things for them just for their benefit. But Coach Terry Moore is more like the John Thompson,
Yeah.
Figure that you have a lot of respect for, and it's that bond transcends sports.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I knew it, man. I was one of those guys that was in the moment. Like I understood what was going on. Definitely. I understood what role he played. I understood what role my high school coaches played. Like I was very aware of what was going on because I had a mission.
All right. So let's run your freshman year down on to your senior year on your personal play, and then add what did the team do?
As far as my travel team.
No, we're going to high school now. We're not
let's go to high school
AAU.
Well, I came into high school in those grade wise. As I mentioned to you, man, I'm a kid that grew up in the hood. Transitioned into organized ball. I did it from a basketball perspective, but I didn't do it from a school perspective. I mean, we went to school, but we didn't have anyone. My mom, once we got over 13, 14 years old, I mean, she was still tough on us, but it was only so much because I had older brothers, you know what I mean? So it was like, oh, they kind of grown. So, I was ineligible, but I was one of the top freshmen coming in. So for me, for the high school coaches, I remember Coach Blue and my head coach, Coach Chris Davis, coming up to me and say, hey, we want to keep you, but dude, you got 4 Fs. If you don't get your Fs up by December, you're not gonna ever be a part of this program, man. So, it was something I had to make a commitment to be a student athlete and take school as serious as basketball. So that was kind of my freshman year lesson. I ended up
playing freshman.
Had to wake up. I ended up playing freshman, and then I ended up playing sophomore because we had freshman, sophomore, JV varsity. So I played freshman and sophomore, and then I led my sophomore team to a conference championship. Won the conference championship my freshman year.
Yeah. So tell me this: when you woke up to your grade, because Cascade Sports is home of the student athlete.
Yeah.
And I went through the same thing, and this is back I graduated in '69. Back then, you thought if I'm a good athlete, everything is going to be taken care of. And I don't have to I had shop, and gym.
Right.
And when I went to Virginia State, I got track scholarship. I failed off just like you did, but you was in high school. I was in college on a full scholarship, and I wasn't even eligible to run.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
And I had to look at myself, and that summer went to summer school, got my grades up. So embarrassed, I didn't even go back to Virginia State. I went to Central State in Wilberforce, Ohio. But because I wanted to participate in fraternity and sports, I got myself together with my grades.
Right. Nice.
Is that your story?
Similar.
Yeah, I'm saying as it relates to basketball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to play, man. I had a great supporting cast around me. Like I had a great group of people. So I had to make sure I took care of my responsibilities. It was all on me. So yeah.
So your sophomore year, what was your play like? And how industrious did you get into your books or as you start waking up?
Oh, at that point, that's where I turned it on. My play grew because I started getting experience under my belt. Like I started playing against some of the best players in the country, playing with Coach Moore, him taking us all around the country. And then Coach Chris Davis, after my freshman year, when he saw that I got the grades together, he said, you're going to be my starting point guard next year, so get ready.
What did that feel like when Coach talked to you about that and then it actually came into fruition?
It felt good, man. It felt like an opportunity, and I didn't want to let Coach down. You know what I mean? So
Did
we
did
are.
you look at yourself as I deserve this? I came from zero, and this hard work is paying off.
Not at the time.
Conscious, yeah. All right.
Yeah, not at the time. I more looked at it just as an opportunity. I've always tried to keep a level head, you know, but I always believed in myself. I felt like where I come from, like the kids that went to my school, I don't think none of them was experiencing what I was going through. So that kind of gave me a chip on my shoulder, like, can't none of y'all really on my level when it comes to that, you know.
Right. You
So yeah,
might
I
can
always felt
play
like
with
that.
me, but my
Yeah,
personal circumstances,
yeah.
uh, I'm, you know,
Y'all
it's
don't
not
want it. Y'all don't want it more than me. That's how I felt. So
hungry.
yeah, I was hungry. So that was the edge, but it was never like I deserved anything. It was more like y'all don't want this more than me. And I always kept that in the back of my head. I still do.
Uh, when you became a junior, where were you at mentally, and also were you a student of the game?
I wasn't a student of the game yet. Where I was mentally though is I was gaining more confidence that this is something I could take far. You know, I was in the moment. So once you get to a junior, you're like, dang, I could possibly play college basketball, man, if I, you know, get the right opportunity. So I was more thinking like, this is something that I can take and kind of get me out of my situation and kind of change my life for me. So I was more in that mindset. So trying to just stay focused.
What kind of season did you have?
Had a great season individually. Our team had a good season. We were solid. We was always like a 500 team. We wasn't.
What kind of numbers was you putting up?
My junior year, I think I averaged about 15 points, like 5 assists, couple rebounds. Like I played alongside like Keith Wyndham. We coach started 2 point guards. He started two guards. So I played my junior year. Keith was a year older. So my sophomore year, I played with Keith. And my junior year, I got to play with Keith. He was a senior my junior year. He was one of the top guards in the city,
Was
not a
there
top
enough?
three.
Was there enough balls for two shooters?
Yeah, because he was a leader and I followed. You know, he was more of a scoring guard. At that time, I was just doing whatever I had to do to, you know,
All
run the
right,
team.
and I'm glad. Hold it. Let me say this. Boy, you really hit me in the head just now. You said he was the leader
He
and
was the
I was
leader.
the follower.
Yes, sir.
All right. A lot of guys not don't get that up like they supposed to when they on them teams. Everybody want to be the leader, but he's upperclassman.
Yeah,
He got game, and
yeah,
I'm not trying to outshine him. I my turn is coming.
yeah. And I learned from him. You know what I mean? And he was a gamer. Like he backed it up. Like he really wasn't a talker, but when he talked, you listen. And then he was a gamer. Like dude, then like there's been times where we're down two, and no, we're down three. Heath get fouled, no time to go. He got 3 free throws. Everybody just watching. He make all three to put us into overtime, stuff like that. So when you see them type of situations, you follow behind them people, man. Them is the real deal type people.
So let's talk about your senior year,
Yeah,
and I'm glad that you talked about how you learned. In your
yeah.
senior year, talk about all the things that you learned those last 3 years and how that helped culminate you getting a scholarship.
Okay, so we won, starting with our travel team, we won nationals, Midwest nationals. Like we won Midwest nationals at WSU, you know, on the WSU court.
Mhm.
Um, we were just our team was just we were superb, man. I don't know if we were ranked in the country, but we could have played with anyone in the country. My team at South High, we started off 8-2. We had a decent season, and then one of our best players quit. You know, he was a guy who was playing football and basketball, so he was just going through a lot because you know football season's first, then basketball come next. He's not signed yet. We're in January, so he was probably going through a lot, man. He just quit in January, so we went from like 8-2 to like 11-11. You know, he was one of our seniors, man, one of our leaders,
Mhm.
and we needed him. But I end up personally, I finished all city, all state, all metro, and I end up earning a JUCO scholarship to Redlands Community College, coached by Coach Steve Eck. And at that time, they were the #1 junior college, Division I in the nation. Big time
Talk
school.
about that. Talk about that experience. We've just done quite a few young ladies interviews, and they went to JUCO, and they were JUCO All-Americans, and they were because telling these young high school kids, because I think they watch too much daggone TV. All of them think that they Division I, and they're looking for Division I, and not understanding a lot of Division I players went to JUCO.
Yes.
You know, they just didn't go. Yeah, you got a significant amount that go right in, but a lot of times they're not even ready, and they wind up failing out. They wind up not adjusting to the college atmosphere.
Right.
How was that JUCO experience?
The dog fight. Well, Coach Steve Eck, his name speaks for itself. If anyone wants to know who he is, just Google it. He coached at my high school. He's won championship after championship in the early 90s at my high school. He established a presence at Redlands Community College in Oklahoma. So a lot of the great players out of Wichita, if they didn't want to go right into Division I, they'll go to Redlands, including Taj Gray, Dupree Lucas. Taj Gray ended up going to Oklahoma OU after Redlands. Dupree went to Xavier. So these are the kind of talents that came out of Wichita and went to junior college. So we were like, man, that's not a bad option to feel good about. So I always kept my eye on it. Coach Eck was recruiting me, man, and I went down there and I played, and it's just a dog fight. Junior college is nothing but dog, and that was right. That's where I come from. So I embraced it. Like, I like this. And I needed to get better, before I, went Division I. So it was just a great stop for me to work on my game and, get ready to go to the next level.
What was it? Academic challenges? Were there any?
There were academic challenges. There was academic challenges everywhere, at every level, because you usually have basketball after school. You know what I mean? Regardless of when your school ends, you have basketball after school. So you always got to fit that time in. When other kids, maybe get home in high school at 4:00, they can play around a little bit, then do homework at 6 or 7. Like, we got home at 7. And then have to do homework after we got home, So the social life in junior college was the same way. We'll go to class first, so we had school before practice, but we'll go to class from 8 to 1. Then we have practice from 2 to 6. And then when you get out of practice, you have to do that homework from 8 to 1 that you learned in school. So,
and you tired.
You done, man.
Yeah, you tired, you hungry.
Yeah, you got girls.
Yeah,
you got girls, you got social life, gotta balance all that stuff, man. So if you're not a student, or you're not partnered with, the assistance that the schools provide for you, whether it's tutoring or, you're gonna fail, man. And it's hard to be successful in one or the other. Like, it usually comes with both. If you're successful in school, you're usually successful on the basketball court. You're overall focused, your business at every angle that's thrown to you.
So you left there, and where did you go?
I went to Florida Atlantic University. I got a scholarship by Rex Walters. He was recruiting me in high school at Valparaiso. So when he saw me going to Redlands, he just followed me over, just start sending letters over to Redlands. And he went from Valpo to Florida Atlantic, and he was like, "Yo, I know a good point guard at Redlands." Send him some mail. So I always wanted to come somewhere tropical, kind of move out of my situation I was going through in Wichita. I wanted higher aspirations for myself. So I was like, yeah, I like Florida. Came down here. I trusted Rex. I had communicated with him throughout my process, and I committed.
What was that like your freshman year?
My junior year?
I meant to say your junior year. I'm sorry.
It was amazing, because Coach Walters was more of his competitive edge for us as a unit was no one's going to be more in shape. He felt that.
Oh, he was one of them coaches. Y'all was working hard, baby.
Oh my gosh. He felt like the biggest competitive advantage, because he played at Kansas. He was an All-American, played in the NBA with Allen Iverson with the 76ers. So he's seen basketball at a high level as a player.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he felt one of the competitive advantages that a lot of people had on us, or just mid-major programs, was probably they didn't work like the high major programs like the North Carolinas and Kansas and all that. So he wanted to make sure we worked.
Y'all wasn't gonna lose because y'all was tired.
Yeah, we wasn't gonna lose because we was weak or tired. We was gonna lose
because they had more
players.
talent or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I know what kind of coach he was.
Yeah, man. So it was exciting, man, because it transformed, it pushed our bodies and the whole Division I lifestyle, man. It was different.
Hey, talk to the young players on this.
Yeah.
You might be the man where you come from, but when you go to college, those guys are the man where they come from, and they don't care nothing about you.
Absolutely.
What is that about?
Everybody's good, man. We get NBA pros that come and talk to us at the Division I level, and they tell us that the hardest level to play in is college basketball Division I. It's the hardest level, man, because they told us that when you go to the NBA, everyone turns into specialists. You may have some shooting specialists, or you may have more talent than you may see on the Division I level. But there's too much of an age differential. Like you may be playing against 35, 36-year-olds and you're 18. So the game can move a little slower. They're moving a little slower. See, in college, everyone's about the 19 to 22 range. And everyone's as quick as they possibly going to get, fast and big. And
they on full blast all the time.
Full blast. They broke. A lot of them don't got money. They hungry, man. So
talk about that. They broke. They don't got no money. They hungry. And the only thing they looking at is NBA or playing overseas.
That's it. So he told us that a lot of guys told us that's the hardest level that they ever played. Division I college basketball. And I believe him.
What was that academic challenge once you got?
It was intense, man. It was a lot, harder than any academic challenge that, we've ever been through. Or I ever been through, because just the school in itself. When you're at your high school, that's a public high school, then you're at your junior college, that's a small college. When you enter these universities, man, they don't care if you're a college athlete or not. They have a standard to get those certificates, and you got to keep up.
Say that again, because a lot of athletes coming out of high school and stuff don't understand. They don't care who you are. They're fair.
They don't care, man. The only favor you probably have is, again, the help that your team provides, like the athletic program. They might provide you with some tutors, and people that can kind of guide you to getting all your load done, help you with your load management. But the universities don't care. You gotta pass those tests to get those certificates, because those certificates is what's going to get you in the workforce. And if you get hired by one of these workforces representing their schools, I'll say, where did you learn this at? Who did you? That makes them look bad. So you're gonna have to work for that. And it was difficult, man. A lot of us, we got our degrees after basketball, like if we didn't move forward.
That's me too. I'm saying a lot of us. I'm like, it took me 5 years because I thought I wanted to party also.
Yeah, man. And then the girls, the distractions, and you're in these big cities now. You ain't just at a place where McDonald's and Walmart at. You're in a big city,
right?
In Miami and all
and people coming from all over the world.
Yes.
And you're experiencing a whole lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard you say something that I want to make sure I talk to you told me to focus on, the young kids, and what I would tell them,
Yeah, in closing, because we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Give them what they need to know.
Get the basketball education. That's the most. None of this stuff is, I got friends all over the country, man, and they're all doing different stuff. Friends that I saw that played basketball dedicated themselves from 5 years old to 18 or 22 years old. When that ball stopped, they didn't know what to do. They never got the basketball education. I think the basketball education is probably more important than the school education. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not talking about as far as getting a job. You need your degree, because these certificates are recommended criteria. But what I'm saying is team. Like if you don't understand the concept of team, you really can't work in any workforce. If you don't understand sacrifice, if you don't understand dedication, if you don't understand uh,
consistency,
if you don't understand how to be on time, like we had practices. If you were on time, you may have got kicked off the team. You know what I'm saying? Just having a plan. Like when we went into the games, we didn't go into the games, with no plan. We had our playbook. We knew exactly what we are going to do if this happened. We knew exactly what we were going to do. What does basketball teach you as a whole? You got the crowd. When we walk up in arenas, there was sometimes like we played at Kentucky where there was 24,000 people, that didn't like us. I see people sometimes they like, man, I got haters, throw them off. Man, when we were in the arenas with 24,000 haters and we had to focus and get everything done. You know what I mean? So the whole, just if you miss a shot, don't get down on yourself. Basketball teaches you the game doesn't care if you miss a shot because it gives you another opportunity to get the rebound. Or if the other team gets a rebound, it tells you to get your butt back down court and play some defense now. Not getting too up or too down, man, just staying the course, even killed. So I look at the basketball education. That's what I learned the most, man. Like Coach Moore gave me his team at 14 years old. I had to run that team. I was the CEO of his team or the manager of his team. I took his order and followed his order, and I had to run that. Like that's what they're doing. That's what managers are doing for big corporations. They're taking orders from their coach and they're running those teams. And that's all it is about teams. It's like if you understand the concept of team and what role you play for your team and play that role to your highest ability, you're gonna be successful in whatever you want to be successful.
Without a doubt, I'm going to end this. Charlie Rose was a nighttime host back in the day, and about 10 years ago, maybe longer, he had the top CEOs in top 10 in the nation. And It was all about sports. Every last one of them played sports. And what you just described, that's what they were saying, that sports teaches you a lesson in life. It's always the next game. It's always the next play. Teaches you how to get up after falling, persistence, being on time. All of those things are incorporated.
Taking care of yourself,
right, in life. And so, as we close with you on the series, Bridging the Gap Between Sports and Education, I think you giving our coaches, our players, and our audience insight to what's going on as it relates to that next level. And we appreciate you coming on the show. And as we always say in closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. And also, remember, you sports fans, Cascade Sports goes hard in the paint.
Sir.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.